Nelson Mandela, The Long Walk to Freedom. The hills of Mvezo stretched wide and peaceful under the golden African sun. The land was alive with quiet movement, the rustling of grass, the distant call of birds, and the steady rhythm of village life. It was here, in this calm and rooted world, that a boy named Nelson Mandela was born. To his family, he was Rolihlahla, a name meaning one who pulls the branch of a tree, or more simply, troublemaker. It was not meant as a warning, but as a reflection of spirit. Even as a child, there was something quietly restless about him. Mandela's early life was simple, yet deeply meaningful. He spent his days herding cattle with other boys, running bare deliberate tones, telling stories of African kings, lost lands, and the dignity of leadership. Mandela listened closely, absorbing every word. He noticed something important, not just the stories themselves, but how decisions were made. Leaders listened before they spoke. They valued every voice. Authority came not from force, but from respect. These lessons settled deep within him. One night, as the fire flickered and shadows danced across the walls, an elder spoke of injustice, of land taken, of rights denied. Mandela didn't fully understand, but he felt the weight of those words. Later, lying beneath a sky full of stars, he stared into the endless darkness above. A quiet thought formed within him. The world was bigger than this village, and somehow his journey would lead him far beyond it. Leaving the comfort of Mvezo was the first true turning point in Mandela's life. The transition was not just physical. It was deep. The boy who once ran freely across the hills was beginning to understand something deeper. Freedom was not guaranteed, and for many it did not exist at all. Johannesburg was overwhelming. The city pulsed with life, cars rushing through crowded streets, voices overlapping in constant motion, buildings rising high into the sky. It was a place of opportunity, but also of harsh realities. For Mandela, where people could live, work, and move. The system was clear, and it was unforgiving. Mandela worked during the day and studied at night. Every moment was a step forward. But each day also exposed him to stories of struggle. People denied rights, families separated, lives restricted by rules they had no power to change, pushing him towards something greater than himself. Mandela was no longer just learning about the world. He was preparing to change it. Mandela chose law as his path, not because it was easy, but because it offered understanding. He believed that if he could master the system, he could challenge it from within. Law school demanded discipline, and Mandela gave it everything he had. Long nights of study, endless reading, and constant pressure became part of his routine. But he remained focused. He knew what was at stake for an entire nation. The air in South Africa had changed. What was once quiet frustration had grown into a powerful force of resistance. The streets no longer felt calm. They felt charged, alive with tension and urgency. Mandela stood at the center of it, brought clarity. He understood that the struggle was not just about opposing injustice. It was about restoring dignity, identity, and freedom. Protests spread across cities. Crowds gathered, voices rising together in defiance. The energy was powerful, unified, and determined. But the response was swift with unstoppable intensity. Mandela stood firm, fully aware of the risks. History was no longer something he would witness from a distance. He was now part of it, and the journey was only just beginning. If you enjoyed the story of Nelson Mandela, The Long Walk to Freedom, like this video, and subscribe for more African legends and forgotten histories. Share this story and tell us in the comments which African legend we should tell next.